Hey guys, just a quick update of my build. I just transitioned to Viridi's Veil, and I'm currently using, because of Viridi's Veil, I'm now curse immune, which means that I can free up my ring slots. I was previously using an Arc +1 chain helm with life and rest, nothing special here. So I was just using this and 2 Kikizarus, and this gave me 100% curse immunity, 40 plus 40 plus 20 from Sanctum of Thought. And I currently switched that over to increase my DPS. So Viridi's Veil, I got a magic ring on my right, so it's doing a level 12 Assassin's Mark on hit. It'd be best if you get a life in there, but I got an ES, but that's fine. And then Essence Worm with Wrath, so that's good. And then, so that's my DPS. It's currently at 971,000 DPS. Previously it was around 600 to 700,000. But of course the actual number is going to be lower because this is with Arc and Cloak on, which is around 50% of the time to 60%. So it's probably around between 600,000 to 700,000 actual DPS. Yeah, so that is my current setup, and before that it wasn't that far off. It was about 700k tooltip. So now, yeah, so this is my setup right now, and I also got the Thread of Hope medium cluster, and then I can just take the Divine Judgment and Sanctum of Thought, as well as the Arcane Capacitor with this. So I free up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passives, which allows me to use my large passive. So that's really good. So yeah, so that's pretty much the update and how to build Arc Totems. It's going to be slightly different from how you play Divine Ire Totems, which I played last league. Divine Ire Totems, when you're bossing, you need to put your totems very close to the boss. But with Arc Totems, you don't really need to put it so close. So yeah, it's much better. It's much better with this setup. So I'll just show you an example of a map. So I'm going to show without Headhunter, of course. Headhunter is really good with the ultimatums, but of course we don't need that. And I'll show you an example of how the build works. So it's just using Smoke Mine and Flame Dash for mobility. I plant my Arc Totems down, kill some mobs, then I just go forward, plant more, plant more. So this is a Carcass map tier 14, nothing too special. So Headhunter is really good with the ultimatums, and I think it's going to be the mandatory unit for farming the high tier ultimatums, just because it spawns so many rares, and then killing the rares gives you so much more safety. And then when it gets to the higher tiers, you're actually more buffed up to handle more rares. So it's kind of like this cycling effect, which makes you really strong. Losing a lot of life there, but we have a lot of defenses from Mind Over Matter with a lot of HP and mana. And then we have Arcane Cloak as well, providing the shield based off our mana. Then we have a couple of flasks here. We have Aziri's Promise for Chaos Resist, and then we have Wise Oak for the reduced damage taken from your lowest res. So ideally you want to triple Wise Oak cap, but you know, you can't be really bothered. So it's okay. So it's a nice buff. So yeah, just do a couple of ultimatums here, nothing too much. So typically in the play with Arc Totems, you just run in circles. For Divine Ire Totem and Free Spells, it's going to be different, because you need to place your totems such that they hit everything. So you either put them in the center or you just put them at the edges. I think both will work. Whereas for Arc Totems, it doesn't really matter where you place them. As long as you get hit one, it'll probably can chain to the whole ritual. One more thing I'd like to say is in my second skill on my skill bar, I have Vaal Arc. So my main gem in my Soul Mantle is Arc, which is level 21, which is easier to get as compared to Vaal Arc level 21 that needs a double corruption. And why I don't need percentage quality here is because I'm using Ally Focus for damage, and Ally Focus means you can't apply any elemental ailments, which includes shock. For Arc, quality gives, you can see over here, 0 to 10% chance to shock enemies, so we don't really do that, so it doesn't really matter. And of course it's much easier to get a 21-0 Arc as compared to 21 Vaal Arc. So why are we using a self-cast Vaal Arc? So we have what do you call that? We have the Ancestral Bond, which means that we can deal damage. But why we use Vaal Arc over here is because shooting Vaal Arc will give us a Vaal lucky buff, which you'll see at the top bar later on when we hit. It lasts 4 seconds. With the latest patch, it reduces it to a soul gain prevention of 2. But the lucky buff means that you cast the the arc rolls twice, and you take the higher value, which means that it's pretty much a diamond flask, but just for generic arc damage. So that is so what I do is I precast 6, I go in, I kill him. So I cast a lot to get all my curses on me, and this self-flagellation gives me 19% increased damage per curse. So that's why I just go in and I spam to have uptime. Then when he's out, what I do is that I cast my Wave of Conviction Traps, which apply exposure, lightning exposure, minus 15% lightning res. Previous patch it was negative 25, so it's slightly nerfed, but it's fine. And what it gives is that on proc it has a chance to grant frenzy charges, which is 4% more damage per frenzy charge. So that's potentially a little bit more damage with the frenzy charges if you're lucky enough to get it. That's what I do. And of course, if you have Vaal Arc available, you just shoot it out. So it does no damage, of course, from the Vaal Arc. You can see I just shoot the ground, but then I have the Vaal Arc Lucky buff over here, Lucky Arc. So it lasts 4 seconds and it rolls twice. The soul gain prevention has been reduced to 2 seconds from 6 seconds, so that makes it like a Vaal skill which you use to kind of buff your damage. So previously we'll be using Righteous Fire, but now it's just too much of a downside with too little benefit. Something like 18% more damage, and you take out 60% of your life in ES. That's too much. I am dead here. I am not dead here. No, yeah, so I shouldn't be dying there. But yeah, that's the idea of how an arc setup works. So let me just switch to a Headhunter real quick here and show you the difference with in the encounters. So this is a haste, 100% area of effect, Nemesis, Overgrown Shrine. Just run this real quick and just showcase how the build works with Headhunter. So this is not my endgame build, it's just farming. And currently I'm doing a new Vestir strats, but I'll probably save it for another video. And this is just showing you how Arc works in the endgame. So I think most people are using free spell totems. I think Grimro has been using free spell totems, and I did that sometime 2 leagues ago. So here you're going to see an example of doing a ritual, which you don't really need to care what mods you do, because as you kill, you're going to get Headhunter stacks, you're going to get stronger, and it's very, very unlikely that you die. The things that are good within the ritual, you want to take the one which you or your minions cannot do damage for 2 seconds, so that doesn't affect your totems. Over here you don't want to take this 30% reduced life mana ES, so I usually go for the Stalker. He's too slow. This is good as well, the Frozen Pustules, because it's very slow to proc. So the Shade is Pepega, so it's pretty easy. So you can see the Proximity Shield guy, I want to prioritize killing that guy. So over here, this is the one. Occasional Impotence. You and your minions deal no damage for 2 seconds every 8 seconds, so that doesn't affect us, and it's a free mod over here. Just like how CI is not affected by the cloud, the Miasma cloud. You can see it's just smooth sailing, just get some loot, pick them up. And yeah, we just go again, and you're pretty much almost invulnerable. I've rarely failed any max ultimatums for quite some time. Like I just go to the last reward all the time without even caring what rewards I get, just because I can't die inside, so I just get the full rewards. So every time the Vaal Arc is available, I just shoot the Vaal Arc. And I have a Lightning Golem totem, Lightning Golem summon on my alternate skill bar, so I have that in for additional cast speed if I want to use that. He dies quite often, so I just usually summon them before bosses for that just slight bit more cast speed. And yeah, so one thing better is, like, you can see the situations here is where Arc shines. Like Arc is much better than Freezing Pulse or Divine Ire in these situations, just because the Arc can hook around the corners as long as they are monsters, which makes it a lot stronger. And you can pretty much do any layout with not much problem. Freezing Pulse is really bad through doors. Sometimes the projectiles don't even fly through, but generally Freezing Pulse is the tier 1 solid skill. Grimro's using it, and then he switches to Ice Spear for single target bossing, but you know, I'm just lazy. I actually considered switching to Divine Ire for single target, but it's just too much of a setup change, because Divine Ire needs conversion, because Divine Ire is 50% Fizz, 50% Lightning, and then you'll need some conversion gloves. There's 50% from the tree, 25% on the tree, sorry, and then you need another 25% more to convert. So yeah, you'll need to cloth belt. So here I just summon some totems. You can see that I get the buffs from self-flex. So what I want to do here is I want to throw some with conviction traps on the boss here. And then, yeah, he's dead. Okay, cool. Let's get the ritual rewards. So that's pretty much the build. Hope you enjoyed the very quick build guide. And yeah, I pretty much talk about my transition, maybe how I progress later on in another video. Thanks for watching. See you guys.